So first of all, I am available for personal psychic tarot readings and personal astrology birth chart readings. Check out my website, Lamarr, TownsendTarot.com. The link to my website is in the description box, as well as the comment section. To purchase your reading, just go to my website, go to the store section. I do currently have a special 20 minutes for a psychic tarot reading and 20 minutes for a birth chart reading, all in one, in my specials and discount section on my website. So go to that, and also check out my store, purchase your reading. I'll get back to you as soon as possible with a confirmation email, and we'll get your reading done within 1 to 3 days, okay? With that being said, also check out my book on Amazon, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language, available now for download. And also make sure you subscribe, of course. So Scorpio, is there a reason why you're so secretive? Like, are you hiding something? You know a lot about me, but I don't know anything about you. I know the bare minimum, the bare basics, maybe what you share with me, the little you share with me about yourself, maybe the stalking I do about you on social media, the stalking I have to do on social media about you, because you don't tell, anything about yourself. But then you also don't post anything about yourself on social media. You just post memes that have nothing to do with your true personality. Scorpio, why are you so... See, I feel like I don't know you half the time, and it makes me suspicious that, I don't really know anything about you. And then it also makes me suspicious that you're suspicious. Like, I feel like with Scorpios, you have to let them smell you and kind of figure out, almost like, how dogs, you kind of have to smell each other first. That's how I feel like sometimes with Scorpios. Like, and I personally don't like that, because I'm a Capricorn, so I'm just kind of like, take me as I am, I'm here. Like, I don't need you to check me out and, do your whole Scorpio intrusion, Scorpio kind of psychological assessment thing, that Scorpios do to figure out if you're worthy or not to interact with. I don't like that I can't tell you certain things simply for the mere fact that I don't know how you're going to react. Like, I don't know if I should tell you that I used to steal when I was younger, because maybe you think I'm going to steal from you. You have to, be careful with what you tell us. It just frustrates me sometimes how sensitive Scorpios can be to information. You tell them you eat meat, and, they're vegan, and suddenly they stop talking to you. But you actually didn't know they were a vegan because they never told you, It's like little things like that. You tell them you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and suddenly they stop talking to you because the whole time they were interested in you, but they never told you that. Like, Scorpio, can you stop hiding your intentions and be straightforward with your intentions first, so that I can be straightforward with mine, and we can negate that whole suspicion that you have upon first meeting me? And this is what it's like dealing with a Scorpio when you first meet a Scorpio. It's like kind of testing the waters, figuring out one another's energy. Also, one thing that frustrates me about Scorpios is that, first impressions are big, big, important thing, but they're hugely important to Scorpios, because, the first impression that a Scorpio gets from you is a lasting impression. So God forbid you have an off day and a Scorpio thinks you're off, just in general. But really it was just that day that your energy was off. Did I mention that Scorpios go really, really big by energy? So you almost can't hide anything from them. By the way, I have Venus in Scorpio, so I resonate, with all of the energy that I'm talking about. I resonate with everything I'm talking about right now, especially in my romantic life, because Venus rules romance and friendships and blah, 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 so I understand it, and I'm kind of reading myself at the same time. But it's just something these are just some things I notice about Scorpios that frustrates me. They go, energy is really important to you, but sometimes I think Scorpios don't take the time to understand certain energies, and they just make us, snap assessment, based off of an energy or a vibe they get. When really that could be worked through, that could be talked through, for example, like a Scorpio can get like a weird vibe from someone, and it's like, oh no, I got a weird vibe from them, but if you talk to them, maybe it had really nothing to do with you. And that kind of deals with that suspicion that, Scorpios naturally have. That comes naturally to you. You're suspicious of everyone and everything. It just is what it is. And, that's your self-protective mechanism, but I don't know. It's just frustrating to deal with sometimes, I think. Not saying you should change yourself or that you will change yourself or can change yourself. You are who you are, but, you know, I don't know. I think it's just difficult sometimes to understand a Scorpio or get close to a Scorpio unless you pass the tests. Tests with an S. SSS. You guys have a penchant for sniffing out weakness. You also have a penchant for sniffing out fear. So God forbid someone be weak and fearful of you, this is someone that you're most likely going to take advantage of or try to take advantage of in some way. Not saying all Scorpios, but I'm just saying it's like a shark in water that smells blood. For example, a Scorpio that wants the truth can be very aggressive about getting the truth. I mean, you guys are ruled by Mars as well as Pluto. And Mars is aggression. Mars is, you know, straightforwardness. Mars is shooting straight from the hip. Yeah, you know how Wendy Williams always talks about being a straight shooter and shooting straight from the hip? I'm pretty sure she's a Scorpio moon. Look up her chart. And God forbid someone cross you all. You guys can be super vindictive, super mean, and a little bit evil. Scorpio is one sign who can hold a grudge for the longest time. The longest time. And that can definitely be frustrating all on its own, because a Scorpio has to win. A Scorpio has to get the last laugh. Scorpio has to get the last say. That's that Mars energy. You know, they never want to have someone get one up on them, or they never want to be seen as weak. Also, you guys are very observant, alright? And in that way, you guys can be a little bit of know-it-alls. You know, it's like you think you know someone or you know something just based off of, you know, things you observed, or, you know, based off of context clues that you made. And most of the time you're spot on, but not all of the time are you spot on about certain things. You know, there's more pieces to the puzzle. And that, interestingly enough, frustrates you when you think you know something and you think you've gotten the full scope of the picture, but you didn't get the full scope of the picture, and there was information left out. Like, that really frustrates you guys, because you guys need to know everything at all times. And I totally understand that. I'm a Venus in Scorpio. Like, I need to know everything about you before I bring you into my world. And don't even get me started on how obsessive you guys can get. Like, you guys become so obsessive that you guys want the people around you to become just as obsessed and wrapped up in whatever you're wrapped up in. And that can be a little frustrating too, because it's like, you just be heavy sometimes, you know, depending on the context of your obsession. But if you're obsessed with a person, which 9 times out of 10, I'll say 7 times out of 10 is the case, that can be difficult to deal with in heavy energy. Especially if it's someone that you can't really have, or that's like not good for you. Like, that can even like make you more obsessive, the fact that you can't have them or can't have that thing. So in that same frame, it's like you guys sometimes don't know when to give up the ghost. And that can be frustrating, you know. And listen, I'm preaching the gospel here as a Venus in Scorpio. Like, there are people, you know, things, you know, that I've been holding on to for years now that I'm just like, I should have let this go or let you go like 2 years ago, but I'm still holding on to you. I'm still holding you in my energy, and it's stagnating my growth. It's stagnating my evolution. You know, it's stagnating my spiritual growth as well. And, you know, it can be difficult to let go of. I understand it, you know, but man, when you guys get obsessive about something or someone, wow. I also don't like how sometimes when you don't get your way, as a last resort, you kind of resort to intimidation, like an intimidation tactic. And I probably talked about this a little bit in my Scorpio revenge tactics video that I did, I don't know, like a year or two ago. But, you know, your energy by itself is intense. So I think sometimes you guys use that kind of energy to your benefit in a sense, but it's like, it can come off sometimes as a bit malicious, or a bit, I don't know, malicious I think is the best word. But I think what it is, it's just that bubbling emotion, you know, deep emotion that you guys feel when you feel betrayed, or when you feel hurt, when you feel misunderstood, when you feel taken advantage of. It's like a fire, you know, starts inside of you, and you have to let it out. You have to, like, take out everyone that's hurt you, you know, and I get it, you know, I totally understand it, you know. Scorpios have triggers, I've noticed, you know, but I think it's knowing your triggers and knowing how to deal with those triggers as well. Alright, Scorpios, I hope I didn't read you guys too much. I feel like, I don't know, I read myself as well. Definitely gave myself some things to think about. So at the very least, I hope I gave you something to think about, alright, in this rant. But I feel better, actually. I do feel better. You know, let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, share with your friends and family. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you get a notification whenever I go live or upload a brand new video on YouTube. Make sure you also follow me on my social media pages. My Instagram is @Lamarr Townsend, and my Facebook is Lamarr Townsend Tarot, spelled just like my YouTube channel name. Also, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, to purchase a reading from me. I am available for readings, and I would love to read for you. Yes, I'm available as we speak, so book your reading now, and you will get it as soon as possible. Also, the links to my social media pages and my website are in the comment section. Or the link to my website's in the comment section. The link to my social media pages, as well as my website, are also in the description box. Also, the link to purchase my ebook is in the description box as well. Or it should be. If not, just look it up on Amazon. Alright? Zodiac signs, sex language, or just type in Lamarr Townsend. Love and light, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.